Water is the key to survival of basically every organism on Earth. It allows organisms to break down food, reproduce, grow, and many other things. The water cycle helps move this water around and get plants and animals the water they need to survive. The water cycle is only possible because of the sun. The sun's energy causes ice to melt and water to evaporate. This means that water can get from the ocean to the clouds to maybe even snow. Another reason why the water cycle is possible is the atmosphere, but more on that later. The water cycle is composed of 3 main steps, but many people don't know that there are more than that. Evaporation occurs when the liquid water here on Earth changes into a gas called water vapor. The water vapor then rises into the atmosphere. Without the atmosphere, the water vapor would be lost in space, but luckily, the atmosphere holds the water vapor in. This happens when the sun adds energy to the water and changes it into a gas. This usually happens over oceans. Evaporation can also occur in plants, but this time it's called transpiration. Transpiration achieves the same effect as evaporation, but as said before, it occurs in plants. The leaves of plants give off water vapor that goes into the atmosphere. Mr. Grimm said, "It is like plants are sweating." Now that all this water vapor is in the atmosphere, we come to our next step in the water cycle. Condensation takes place when the water vapor in the atmosphere cools down and loses its energy from the sun. When a gas cools down, it turns into, you guessed it, a liquid. With all this water up in the atmosphere, clouds form. This is able to occur because the energy from the sun leaves the vapor. This always happens in the atmosphere and eventually in clouds. After the water builds up in the clouds, the water gets heavy and can no longer stay in the sky. Many people don't know this, but rain actually starts as snow. Solid precipitation is when the water in the sky continues to get colder and becomes snow. When the snow in the clouds gets too heavy, it falls back down to Earth. Some forms of solid precipitation include snow and hail. Both solid and liquid precipitation can occur anywhere on Earth, but solid precipitation occurs in colder areas, such as the North and South Poles, and liquid precipitation mostly occurs over the ocean. Liquid precipitation occurs when solid precipitation heats up and becomes rain, the more widely known term for liquid precipitation. If the solid precipitation reaches a low enough spot in the atmosphere, or the temperature is above 32 degrees Fahrenheit, then it becomes rain. This is why there is snow on the top of mountains, but sometimes not the bottom. This concludes the water cycle. Without this complex circle of water, humans might not be on this planet today. Thank you, water cycle.